We hope you enjoyed that last original piece. Our next piece will be an original song written and played by Anthony Phung entitled Blue Skies.
And now to top off our collage of performances, we will be having an original dramatic monologue composed specifically by Umeh called After the Storm. I hope you enjoy this performance.
I could never forget it. Not in this lifetime or the next. The things I saw, no one should have to see. But a lot of people did. It was days. Days without water, days without food, days with too much water. Before something was done, none of us could have predicted this is how it was going to end. Global warming has led to not only an increase in natural disasters, but an increase in magnitude of those natural disasters. Hurricane Katrina was ranked 6th out of the top 10 most disastrous hurricanes of all time. In fact, of that list, over half of them were from the last decade. People in Hurricane Katrina lost everything, including their family. If not by death, but by separation when they were evacuated. We all know about the terrible effects we're having on the environment, but we don't seem to understand that when we hurt the environment, we're hurting ourselves. After the Storm, a monologue written by me, Umeh. I couldn't tell you how long we were up there. Days blur with night, we lose track of it all. Honestly, I couldn't remember how we got up there, but I was glad we did. Some people weren't so lucky. The bodies floating around in the river were that. After the first 2 hurricane warnings weren't so accurate, it was easy for people to ignore this one. They announced the first one, and by the time it hit land, it had been downgraded to a tropical storm. The second one, it missed us completely. So when it came around to Hurricane Katrina, despite the fact that it was a level 5 hurricane already, I guess Mother Nature had cried wolf one too many times. One day we heard the helicopters hovering over us and we started to scream and wave our hands. When they let down the ladder, we didn't have to think. We immediately climbed up onto the ladder and got into the helicopter. We didn't know where we were going or what was going to happen next. But one thing was for sure, from this point on it was just me and my mom. and we had nothing to come back to. We were relocated to Beaumont, Texas, a small town outside of Houston. When we got there was so much to worry about. Food, housing. My mom told me to go to school, get my mind off it all, but I couldn't. It was too soon. I couldn't leave her alone with a bunch of people that she didn't know to go spend the day at school with a bunch of people I didn't know. We had to stay in a shelter because even with the FEMA assistance, it wasn't enough for us to find housing. It was a long month, but it was only a month. Only a month before the news started covering Hurricane Rita, and it was coming straight for us. We weren't going to make the same mistake twice. We were going to get out of it before this hurricane hit. The problem was, since we came in the city on a bus with other refugees, we didn't have any means of transportation. We really wanted to leave, but apparently everybody else was thinking the same thing, because immediately the roads out of the city were blocked by traffic. We wanted to leave, but we knew it was safer for us to stay than to be in the traffic when the hurricane hit. We stayed at a nearby hospital. It was terrible, cramped. People slept on the floors and in chairs. I didn't sleep at all. Not even because of how uncomfortable it was, but because every time I closed my eyes, I remembered that day, my mom screaming, "Hurry, hurry!" We ran into my room, out the window, onto the roof. Every time I'd see the dead bodies floating around in the water, I started to scream, "Why? Why?" I guess my mom heard me because she woke me up. I walked over and just stared out at the window as the water poured down, asking her, "Why, Mom? Why us? Why was this happening to us again? Why did we deserve this?" She put her hand on my shoulder and said, "It's okay, honey. This may be happening to us again, but we'll survive it. Again." And she was right. People don't seem to understand what happens after the storm. They think it's over, done, finished. But I know, standing here 5 years later, it never goes back to the way it was before. There are houses that will never be lived in again. People who will never go back home. Because you never get back to the way things were before, after the storm.